We're previewing UFC 169 here at SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we are talking right now once again with returning guest Nick Kalikas from MMA oddsmaker.com and Reed Kuhn from Fightnomics.com, and he's written a book called Fightnomics, and he analyzes these MMA fights from a statistical standpoint. All right, guys, Frank Mir and Alistair Overeem, right? Two lumbering heavyweights, both of them on big losing streaks. People are saying that maybe the loser might retire after this one. Overeem's a big favorite, minus 325 currently. Mir is plus 265, and I guess, this is striker versus grappler. The conventional wisdom, I think, is that, Overeem has the big edge early, and that, if he wins, it's going to be early. In the later rounds, he might get gassed, and then the edge maybe leans towards Mir. Reed Kuhn, what's your take on these lines?
Well, you're exactly right. Both these guys have a lot of power. They're dangerous. They stack up in terms of, as you'd expect. You have a grappler who likes to submit people. He's done it in spectacular fashion with Frank Mir. Overeem, he definitely wants to keep his standing. Last time he faced a guy as dangerous as Mir on the mat was Fabricio Werdum. And Overeem basically watched Werdum fall into guard for half the fight, and it wasn't really a contest. Frank Mir is going to be a little bit more aggressive than that. He's not going to run away by any means. But boy, the numbers on the power and their defense is actually way below average. So both men tend to get hit more often than they should. Both men have been knocked down at a high rate. They do have a lot of power. So all that thrown into the cage together tells me that this is probably not going to leave the first round. I'm leaning Overeem. As you said, he's got the better chance early on. If he does gas and Mir survives that early storm, sure, he might be able to get a haymaker in there in round 2 or 3, but I don't think it will go that far.
All right, I hear you, but right now the under 1.5 rounds at 5 dimes is minus 225. The over is plus 175, and who knows? Maybe the first round they'll be feeling each other out. Maybe Overeem will be trying not to get gas, so he'll take it easy in the first round. If that happens, then maybe the over 1.5 rounds at plus 175 would be the way to go.
It could be. I do expect to finish at some point, and you're right. Actually, both guys have a stand-up strike ratio that is below even. That means they tend to allow their opponents to work. So that could mean that there's a lot of hesitation of seeing who is going to initiate the first exchanges. That could cause a lot of delay getting things going. I think once they do get going, it's not going to take long. Each guy really only needs to land 1 or 2 strikes to finish this or to wobble the other guy and then set up the finish. So it may take a moment to develop, and that 1.5 is tricky. That's a fairly steep line for an early finish.
Yeah.
Heavyweights tend to finish 42% of their fights in the first round, so that price is particularly expensive. So the round 1 finish for Overeem, I might be interested in that. Specific TKO finish. Some props might be the way to go here, but you're right. The prices right now are steep on the most likely outcomes.
All right, now let's go to Nick Kalikas from MMAoddsbreaker.com. Nick, there's kind of a lot of uncertainty here with 2 big heavyweights like this. Minus 325, is that a little bit steep? Where'd you open this line?
I opened it around 300, just under 300. I think it was minus 285. So a little bit of action, parlays, everything increasing the line. But both guys are getting support here as well. I do lean, obviously, towards a favorite here as well. I think Overeem, he's just, like you guys said, he's the more dangerous fighter early on, especially. But you know what? Let's not make a mistake. Mir doesn't have fantastic cardio. I know lately he has improved in that area. Training with Greg Jackson's camp has done wonders for Mir's game, even confidence-wise. But he is on a losing streak. Both guys are on a losing streak, as we mentioned as well, and it's a must-win fight for both guys. So I know Mir's probably going to be more prepared physically. I think he's going to be in better conditioning, so I do agree with that. As the fight goes on, I think the advantage shifts a little bit more towards Mir. But, man, both these guys have suspect chins. They've both been dropped in numerous times and numerous occasions, and it's going to be another one of these slugfests, I think. I see really Overeem pushing the pace. I think he's going to probably jam Mir up against the fence. And you know what? That seems to be not a good formula to Frank Mir. When he's up against the cage, fighters just tee off on him. I think with the knees and the clinch work of Overeem, he's probably going to end up finishing him there. If it stays in the center of the cage, Frank Mir doesn't have the striking advantage over Overeem. Overeem is by far the more talented striker, but Mir does have some decent boxing, and he's a little bit underrated. I got to give him a little bit of credit. His striking is legit, especially for the UFC heavyweight division, and he has knockout capabilities as well. So Overeem coming off those knockout losses that he's recently had as well, never know. If Mir clips him, he can end things early as well. But I do think that Overeem probably is going to push the pace early on in this fight, pin Mir against the cage, start unloading in Mir's chin, and he just tends to fold when the power comes on him like that. So I think that's what's going to happen.
But it sounds like then you're getting a relatively balanced action, and you won't have a decision here one way or the other.
As of right now, I mean, obviously the line on Overeem is increasing, so he's getting a little bit more support, I would imagine, across the board for most books, but it's nothing too drastic. I think we're going to see this action balanced out, and we will see, again, some decent support on Frank Mir. A lot of people know how important this fight is to both, so I think they'll support the dog.
Okay. Reed Kuhn from Fightnomics. If you had to bet a prop in this one, which one would it be?
I think I'm looking for Overeem for the early finish, around 1, to see if that's maybe a better price than the under. I think that's really the most likely outcome here.